Talk show host Terry Anderson, known from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles for articulating the popular rage, sat down with Californians for Population Stabilization to discuss the impact illegal immigration has had on Black Americans. Anderson, who grew up in South Central Los Angeles and lives there still today, says that blacks in particular have suffered at job sites and in classrooms as a result of explosive illegal immigration. As he likes to say, if you ain't mad, you ain't paying attention.
The new threat in this new millennium is politicians, mostly Democrats, but some of these rotten bastards happen to be Republicans also, but mostly Democrats, who are willing to not only look the other way, but are taking a proactive stance in making sure that the laws are not enforced under any circumstances. One of the most vile, heinous, anti-American representations of the new lawlessness is Speaker of the House, Representative Nancy Pelosi. She is 2 accidents away from being the President of the United States, and recently she said that the enforcement of our current immigration laws are, quote, un-American, unquote. Unbelievable.
I've lived in South Central LA my whole life. I saw the deterioration due to the illegal alien invasion. And one day I started listening to talk radio, and it happened to be George Putnam, who we all know. And I kind of thought I was the only person involved in this. Well, not involved. I was the only person who felt this way. Thought I was by myself, and I heard people call his show just as angry as I was. And I got more involved in talk radio. I looked around the neighborhood. I saw the denseness. 10, 20 people living in a 2-bedroom house, 4 and 5 cars at each house, corn growing in the front yard, chickens, goats in yards. This is all the stuff we never had when I was growing up there in the 50s and 60s, and all of a sudden we had it. I knew something was wrong. And then I got kind of aware of things when I saw the amnesty of 1986. I said, I was a very non-political guy, but even as non-political as I said, this ain't going to work, because if they do this, more will come. And that's what happened. Very slow in the 50s, almost non-existent. In the 60s, it began to change basically from a white culture to a black culture. And then all of a sudden, in the late 70s, early 80s, it started to change to what I thought at that time was an immigrant culture. I later found out it was illegal aliens. And then it became very fast-paced. From, I would say, 85 until the present, it has just been unbelievably fast. Well, right now, if you're black in South Central LA, you can't get work. There are people working. But if you go to McDonald's, you're a 15, 16-year-old kid, you go to McDonald's for an after-school job, weekend job, summer job, they want you to be bilingual. Bilingual to flip a hamburger, okay? Are there some black kids working in South Central, in McDonald's and Jack in the Box? Yes, there are, but the majority are not. You will go into these places now, there used to be all black kids working there, are now all Hispanics with the one token black kid in there. Construction work, non-existent for blacks, non-existent. I remember when they built the Magic Johnson Theater, owned by Sony and Magic Johnson. It was an all-white crew building this movie theater in the Crenshaw Mall. Black construction workers got very angry, picketed, went there and says, we want at least 50% of these jobs, which was correct. And they got 50% of the jobs. Now, you've got all these black construction workers out of jobs with no work, and every construction site now is all Hispanic, mostly illegal alien, and no black politician is saying a word. Even the janitors are becoming non-existent blacks. The only place that I've seen black folks still have a strong foothold, and that's slipping away, school janitors, LA Unified, okay, and bus drivers, LA Unified bus drivers, that Unified School District. That's the only place I still see a lot of blacks working. And the ticket agency to write your parking tickets is still predominantly black. Every other aspect of labor in South Central LA is now Hispanic. Well, you know, when it was Whitey, you want half of his. But when it's another, and I hate this word, but I'll use it because you asked me, when it's another minority, unquote, then it's okay. As long as the minority's getting to work, black folks say, well, it's okay. And I say black folks, I mean black leaders. The black rank and file, you talk to them in the grocery store, you go to Pep Boys and talk to them, you go to the bank and talk to them, they will tell you they're fed up with this invasion. But the leaders will not let the public know that. There's 2 reasons why the black construction workers won't picket. Number one, it's futile now, okay? They just know there's just no way they're going to get a job anyway. The other reason is the numbers have been so decimated. We've been diluted now. A lot of blacks have moved out of that area. They've moved out to Lancaster, Palmdale, Moreno Valley. They've also moved back down south where the parents got a plot of land or something, you know, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. They've moved down there. So the numbers are down now, so they don't have any strength. The other thing is the third reason. The third reason is because of stigma. They're afraid of being labeled a racist. They are scared to death of that word. And they figure if they speak up, they're going to be labeled. Whenever you hear a black person speak up on this invasion issue, they'll always do a disclaimer first. I'm not against anybody. I like everybody. I love everybody. But it's always that way. They always do the disclaimer first, and then they say what's on their mind. I was at an event that Bernard Parks was there at the time. He was he's city councilman now. He was city councilman then. Yeah. He's in the 8th district, okay, which is very near where I live. There are construction projects in the same block where his office is that are all Hispanic, and he doesn't say one word about it. He told us at the meeting that night over in West LA that he was very adamant that 90% of construction workers in the city, not county, city of Los Angeles, were white. And everybody in this meeting asked him, what are you smoking? Yeah. Because, you know, they wanted some. Where is this at? Because, number one, there are 0 white construction workers in LA, and it just doesn't happen. Secondly, to even say that about the county would have been ridiculous, but the city is just really, really stupid. And he actually said that night, and everybody just laughed out loud. He's an idiot. He really is. I have a theory, okay, and I believe it's correct, and I've done a lot of study on this. I've been to Washington, D.C., talked to all of them. It started out as get whitey, okay? Started out as get whitey. We're going to bring in here's this word again, it keeps popping up. We're going to bring in this other group of minorities who are going to dilute whitey's power, okay? They're going to dilute whitey's power. And then as the group started coming in, it became a tide that couldn't be reversed. So then it became, well, let's be nice to them, and maybe they'll vote for us. Well, they did in some cases, until they got one of their own to run for office. When I say one of their own, I'm not knocking all Hispanic Americans, because I love Hispanic Americans. I'm saying that a lot of Hispanic Americans are race-based, just as Maxine Waters and Diane Watson and Jackson Lee and the rest are race-based. They believe in black only. Well, these Hispanic leaders believe in the same thing, and they side with illegal aliens. Our problem being black, we don't have any illegal aliens to side with that's going to give us power. But the Hispanics do. And then it became with the Black Caucus, well, wow, look what's happening. But if we speak up now, we'll sound like the white Republicans, so we better not. So it went from get whitey to maybe they'll vote for us to, wow, the water's boiling. Jamil Shaw is a very tragic case. We've got other cases, Highland Park, where 3 or 4 blacks were killed just for being black. Canoga Park, where the LAPD gave a vocal warning to black folks, do not go to Canoga Park because your life could be in danger. Harbor City, man was walking his daughter to the grocery store one evening. A Mexican guy shot him in the back because he was black. The young girl, 204th Street, was killed because she was black. My point is this. There are sections of Los Angeles where blacks cannot go. If a black person goes to East LA and tries to buy a house, they will kill him. They will burn him out. It's happened. But there's Hispanics living in all the previous black projects, the Jordan Downs, Nickerson Gardens, Imperial Courts, Pueblo del Rio. All of these projects, housing projects, that were once 100% black, now are 50-50, and no Hispanic has been attacked because he was Hispanic. My point is, there's a place where we can't go, but there's no place they can't go.